and welcome to your video of your answers to your spiral review for Thursday. Now, if you have not already put your name at the top of your paper, please go ahead and do so now because you will be turning this in. Okay? Alright, here we go. So, question number 12. Samantha correctly solved 4 math problems, and these are the 4 math problems. To solve which math problem did Samantha have to borrow from the hundreds place? And the only way to completely figure out which one she had to borrow is to actually go through the 4 problems and see where you have to borrow in the hundreds place. So let's start right here. So she said 9 minus 1 is 8, 7 minus 5 is 2, and then she gets to the hundreds place and she has a 0, but does she borrow from the hundreds or does she borrow from the thousands? She borrows from the thousands. So we know that this problem right here is not the correct one. So A is not it. Alright, let's go to the next one. 4 minus 3 is 1. And then we have 1 minus 6 in the tens place. And I can't do that. So I have to go over to the hundreds and borrow 1 and make that a 7 and make that an 11. So did I take one from the hundreds place? Yes, I did. So B is potentially the right answer. Let's go and check these as well. Well, 6 minus 7, I can't do it. So I have to go and borrow 1 from the 10 and give it to my ones place. Okay? Now 16 minus 7 is 9, but then when I go to my tens place, I have 0 minus 0. So do I have to borrow from the hundreds place? No. C's not it. And let's look at D. 3 minus 1 is 2, 8 minus 4 is 4, and 3 minus 2 is 1. I don't have to borrow from anybody here. That one works out beautifully. So it's not D. So the correct answer to the first problem, question 12, is B. All right, let's go down to question number 13. Question 13 says Walter plays running back on his football team. Over 4 games, he ran 356 yards. In game 1, he ran 96 yards. In games 2 and 3, he ran 75 yards in each game. So how many yards did Walter run in game 4? Now, I will tell you that this is a multi-step problem. You've got to do a couple of things before you get the final answer. Well, we know that in 4 games, he ran a total of 356. Okay? So we know that he ran 356 yards total. And we know that in game 1, he ran 96 yards. And in games 2 and games 3, he ran 75 yards each. But we do not know what he ran in game 4. So that is what we are solving for. So one way you could do this is to take these 3 numbers and add them. 96 plus 75 plus 75. We'll add those up. So we know that 5 plus 5 is 10, and 10 plus 6 is 16. And then we'll add our tens place. 1 plus 9 is 10. And then we have 7 plus 7 is 14. So 10 plus 14 is 24. Right? 10 plus 14. Yes, 24. Okay, so we have 246. So we know that in games 1, 2, and 3, he ran a total of 246 yards. But we know in all 4 games, he ran 356. So we have to see what the difference is between these 2 numbers. So we need to subtract now. 356 minus 246. All right, 6 minus 6 is 0. 5 minus 4 is 1. And 3 minus 2 is 1. So 110 yards is what he ran in game 4. Let's find that answer. And that answer is A. Now, you may have worked this problem out differently, but still got the same answer of 110 yards, and that is fine. Okay? You didn't have to work it out my way. As long as you got the correct answer and you can explain it thoroughly how you got that answer, then that is fine. All right, let's go to the next page, which is question number 14. It says Susan measured the length of her desktop to be 73 and 17 centimeters, and the width of her desktop to be 47 and 35 hundredths centimeters. How much longer is the desktop than it is wide? And so we know when we hear how much longer, we've got to subtract. But I threw this one in because we've got our decimals. So we want to make sure we put our bigger number on top, just like with any subtraction problem. So 73.17 minus, now we're going to put the 47.35 on the bottom, but we want to make sure that we line up our decimals. So in front of our decimal point, we have a 47, and behind it we have a 35. So the same thing as we always do, we want to line up our numbers, but with decimals, we want to make sure we line up the decimals. So let's subtract. 7 minus 5 is 2. 1 minus 3, oh, can't do it. So I go over here to the ones place, and I take 1 from the 3. That becomes a 2. And then I give it right here to the tenths place, and that becomes 11. Now, 11 minus 3 is 8. Now I bring down my decimal point. That's very, very important that you do that. And now we're in our whole numbers, our ones. 2 minus 7. I can't do that. So let's go over here to the tens place. We're going to borrow 1 from the 7, which is 7 groups of 10. Make that a 6. And now we're going to give that 1 group over to the 2, and that becomes a 12. Now, 12 minus 7, that's 5. And 6 minus 4, that is 2. So how much longer is 25 and 82 hundredths of a centimeter? So let's see if we can find that answer. Oh, and they put some in here to try to trick you. And this one was for those of you that added, so that one was trying to trick you. So the answer is A. All right, let's go to question number 15. Question 15. Fourth graders at McDougall Elementary School run for 10 minutes at recess. The table shows the distance that 4 students run. Okay, so here are the 4 students, and here are the distances they ran. Okay? If Marcus runs for 30 minutes at the same pace, how far does Marcus run? So we're just focusing in this table on Marcus. And we saw that Marcus, for 10 minutes, he ran a distance in feet of 5,280. So he ran 5,280 feet in 10 minutes. But if he ran that exact same amount and he did it for over 30 minutes, we know for the first 10 minutes he ran 5,280. For the second 10 minutes he ran 5,280 more feet. And for the third group of 10 minutes, he once again ran 5,280 feet. We have got to add that. Now we see that we are multiplying that same number 3 times. That's repeated addition. So you could have multiplied it as well. You could have multiplied 5,280 times 3, and you'll get the exact same thing. 5,280 times 3, and you will get the exact same thing. So let's go ahead and do it the multiplication way. So we're going to multiply 3 to the 0, to the 8, to the 2, and to the 5. So 0 times 3 is 0. 8 times 3 is 24. So just like we did with addition, we have to bring down the 4 and carry the 2. But we're going to put a plus sign in front of it. That's important. Now 3 times 2 is 6. And 6 plus 2 more is 8. And then 3 times 5 is 15. And put our comma. Now, if you say, Miss Ellie, I don't know if that's right or not, well, let's try it with addition. Let's check it. 0 plus 0 plus 0 is 0. 8 plus 8 plus 8 is 24. 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 is 8. Bring down the comma. And 5 plus 5 plus 5 is 15. Didn't we get the exact same answer? We sure did. So the answer for question 15 is 15,840, and that is letter choice C. All right, let's see if there's any more problems. And there is. There are 2 more problems for today's spiral review. Let's look at question 16. Megan sold 32 pies at the school bake sale last Saturday. The pies cost $6 each. Which pair of expressions shows 2 ways to calculate the total cost of the pies Megan sold? So we know that she sold 32 pies, and each pie cost $6. So we can multiply, definitely multiply. We could do repeated addition 6 times. 32, 32, 32, 32, and 32. We could break this 32 into 30 and 2, and we could do 30 times 6 plus 2 times 6. Let's look at all the different ways that we've got and see which ones make the answer over here. Well, this one says 30 times 6 and 30 times 2. Did we say 30 times 6 and then say 30 times 2 right here? No, A can't be it. All right, let's look. 32 times 6 and 30 times 6. Is that what we did right here? No. All right, let's look at this one. 30 times 6 plus 2 times 6. 30 times 6 plus 2 times 6. Okay, so far that's right. And then they added 32. Let's see how many times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We added it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh ho ho! These are the two ways that you could work it out. Let's look at this just to make sure. So we have 32 times 6 plus 2 times 6. Did I say 32 times 6 here? No. So D would not be the answer. C is the best one. All right, and let's go to our final problem here for question 17. 7 students from each of the 14 fourth grade classes at Memorial Elementary School will compete in a school-wide spelling bee. How many students will compete all together? Now, the numbers we're looking at are 7 and 14. And there are 7 students from each of the 14 classrooms. So you've got 14 classrooms, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7. So you could add 7 14 times. You could add 14 7 times. You could multiply 14 times 7. Or you could break this 14 apart into 10 and 4 and say 10 times 7 plus 4 times 7. So I'm going to do that. 10 times 7 is 70. And 4 times 7 is 28. If I add that together, I get 98 students. Let's find our answer. D, 98 students. All right, guys. Again, remember to put your name on the top of this and go and put your packet over in the completed work bin right